Joined now by Mike Triplett of the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com. And Mike, let's start by talking about the return of Sean Payton after a full season away from the game. What does it mean for a team that's built around the precision that Sean Payton brings?
I mean, I like everything about them getting him back. It's like we're talking about the draft. Oh, will a third-round pick have an impact on a team? Or free agency, who gained the most or lost in free agency? They got their coach back. They got the best one of the best coaches in the NFL, best offensive minds in the NFL. No team has had a bigger boon from a comings and goings standpoint in the NFL this year than the Saints getting Sean Payton back. And I think just the fact that it's 2013. I mean, I could tell from guys I've talked to. You could tell from their reactions on Twitter. They came into this April off-season conditioning workouts like they couldn't wait. The exact opposite I've said before. The exact opposite of the Super Bowl hangover. This is when is April going to be here? When is OTAs coming? When is training camp coming? The energy in that building is all heading in a positive direction.
Well, the fans basically see Sean Payton on game days. On Sundays, with the headsets on and all that. But talk about his importance to this franchise the other 6 days of the week.
Well, look, the words you could use for Sean Payton, confidence and swagger, he brings that. He's obviously a great offensive game planner. He's a good motivator, but he's got a presence about him. He knows they're going to win, and they follow that, And I think last year when 0-1 turned into 0-2, turned into 0-4, I think that's when they missed him more than ever before. Maybe he'll avoid a bad start, but he's also the calming influence for that team. He's energetic, he's motivated. He's got a little,
little machismo.
Yeah, a little machismo. So, and I think he'll have even more of that this year. Although he says his message is going to be, this can't be about revenge. This has to be about wanting to win championships. This is going to be a team with, that the expression gets overused, but they're going to be a team with a chip on their shoulder this year, no doubt about
it. Is it possible to quantify what his presence means to the offense on the field?
Yeah, I think after last year we have to believe it means even more than I might have guessed. I thought part of what he did great was build an organization, and he had a lot of assistants in place and players in place and a message and a mantra and a game plan. But obviously it didn't work as well when he wasn't there. So, I mean, you got to chalk, I don't know, you can quantify it exactly, but you got to say it's a 2 or 3 game difference or whatever it is, him being there. I mean, I don't know that you could say, oh, he would have made these in-game adjustments that would have won these 3 games. But look, 7-9 in the year that he was gone, you can't ignore that.
Now, let's look ahead to the draft a little bit coming up later this week. They're picking 15 in the first round, no pick in the second round, taken away with the bounty. Is the emphasis still on that edge pass rush defender, or are you now looking at a defensive back, perhaps somebody on the offensive side, a playmaker there?
Well, I think they did a really good job in free agency, as they always do, of they're not forced into drafting any specific position because they have to fill it right now. I would still rank that edge rusher number 1 if I had to put them all in. Well, I'd probably put left tackle number 1. I don't think they're going to get a guy at 15 there, but I would still put edge rusher number 1 if I had to rank them. But it's really about a 5-way tie on that defense. I think impact defensive player, period. You'll find room for him, whether he's a safety or a D tackle or an inside or outside linebacker. The key is they need a guy that when opposing offenses are game planning against the Saints, they're worried about him. I think they have a lot of nice complementary players in this defense. They don't have a guy that worries offenses. And I think you can potentially get that guy at 15 and really go ahead and pick him at any position and build around that.
All right, general manager. Mike Triplett, who are you going to use? What are you going to do with that first pick? Who do you pick? Give me a name.
All right. Well, one guy that I really like for the Saints, if he's there, but it's the buzz you hear is that Barkevious Mingo from LSU might not be there. But I think he's one of those athletes, one of those edge rushers that we're talking about that could make that difference. I'm putting together a list of sort of who do I think will be there and who do I think they'll take. A couple more names I think will be high on that list is inside linebacker, but a great athlete, Alec Ogletree from Georgia, and safety from Texas, Kenny Vaccaro. There's, I could also put a defensive tackle or 2 on that list, a couple more outside rushers on that list. But those are the 2 guys that I think most likely to be there, the kind of athlete we're talking about. Those would be the 2 that I'd put highest on my list.
Now, when you get into the later rounds, third may be a little bit too strong, but Tyrann Mathieu.
Yeah.
Is there going to be room for him with the Saints?
I mean, maybe. I think you've got to really feel like you're getting a bargain with this guy, though. I really think it's got to be like we've eliminated the risk with this pick, and it's all reward with this pick. So I don't know if that's third round, mid-third round. Maybe it is. I think that some team might jump up and take him that has a luxury, some team with 10, 12 picks, some team that feels like they can afford a few more gambles. For him to be the second player the Saints draft this year, that's putting a lot of risk into that pick. If he's still there in the fourth round, maybe feel a little more comfortable. But he's a guy who could absolutely make an impact, especially on the right team where they do things the right way. The Saints are one of those organizations, the Patriots, the Steelers, or whatever. I think some team's going to gamble on him, and there's a good chance that's going to pay off. He's going to come at a bargain rate, no doubt about it.
Chris Ivory, kind of the wild card. We know the Jets are interested in him. Probably not a second-round pick interested,
right.
But do you see him being with the Saints when the OTAs get underway?
Yeah, I have not gotten a good feel yet for what the Jets have offered the Saints, except for there are reports that they definitely made an offer for him. So we know they definitely like him. But I can't imagine they're offering significant value because you got to remember they also got to get him agreed to a long-term contract or just pay him the one-year deal. I don't think they'd trade for him under just his one-year deal. So you're paying him money and a draft pick. I don't think the draft pick will be a huge investment. I have a feeling the Saints might have to decide, is it worth a sixth-round pick? Maybe it'll be a conditional pick. I don't think they're going to get something like a fourth-rounder for him. I think it would have to be a fourth-rounder or above to be a no-brainer. The only reason I think the Saints might do it is that's $2 million on the salary cap. They've got 4 running backs. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent next year. Maybe you feel like you get something for him, but 6th, 7th-round pick I don't think would be worth it.
All right. Finally, the schedule is out. The Saints with the second toughest run out there along with Detroit. Only Carolina has a tougher schedule. Just for giggles, let's look ahead. The draft hasn't happened.
Right.
Free agents still need to be signed. How do you see the Saints doing in 2013?
Look, I like their chances a lot to be back in playoff contention. Last year they were 7-9, but right before that they were 13-3, and the truth lies somewhere in the middle of those two. But as long as they got Drew Brees, Sean Payton back in front of this offense, they're a team that on their good days can beat anybody. They're going to be tested in this schedule. I see them as maybe 10, 11 win team, but I think they can absolutely be neck and neck with the Falcons in that NFC South division. So I would probably, I did a power rankings thing where I ranked them 5th in the NFC. And that's sort of about where I feel like they are, maybe a 10, 11 win team with a wild card, a chance to beat Atlanta. But that's where I'm going to go heading into the season, I think.
Playoff team.
I think a playoff team, yeah.
All right, we're going to hold you to that. Mike Triplett from the TimesPicayune, NOLA.com. Thank you as always.